Well, there's nothing like grabbing the wrong tool for the job. Today I have the wrong lens with me, so it's a little bit longer, 50mm or whatever, so it's going to have an awesome look, but not sure that you're going to actually be able to see me in any of the shots, which might be good because then you won't be able to see my technique and my exercises, so I can cheat a little. But anyway, here I am getting to the gym just to do some legs here. Hopefully I can start going up in a little bit more weight. We'll see what happens. So here I am. This is what I look like right now. This is some of my results from the last little while of training. Super frequent, and then some days of high volume. But today I'm going to train some legs. So here I am just setting up the rack here and getting mentally ready for training the squats. And the thing is with squats is that I take my time warming up. I take my time just because it's really important to make sure that you have your joints and ligaments and muscles all working in some sort of coordinated manner. The reason for this is that when your muscles are firing in the right order and in the right way, what happens is that you tend to protect the joints much better. And at the same time, you don't snap anything up because, one muscle isn't doing its job, or say your vertebrae are slightly out because you slept wrong or whatever. A lot of the warm-ups give you a chance to actually start to align everything properly. And as you can see, I have the lens set up a little bit different today because I did mention I have the 50mm lens, which really gives a nice look. I really like the bokeh. I really like the blur. That's half the fun of making these videos. Is not necessarily about getting the weight training footage, but more about what can I do with the colors and what can I do to make a shot look a certain way or whatever. So that's kind of fun. So I hope you enjoy it anyway. I won't do this to you guys all the time, but just I thought for a video it'd be kind of nice and kind of fun to do. So with my squat form, I always talk about this in all of my videos, but because a lot of people misunderstand it, but for most of you guys that are actually watching my videos, you kind of know where I'm coming from. I squat to make sure that I'm feeling my legs, my hamstrings, my butt, and my quadriceps, but not feeling my knees and my lower back. And the focus of my exercise is to make sure the muscles are the weak link in the chain, not the joints. And I found when I did high bar squats and I get down low, I do, ass to the floor type squats, my knees just take a beating and my legs don't actually become the weak link in the exercise. It's just my joints. So my joints actually start going to failure. My joints almost snap up, but I don't get more full muscle bellies. I don't get any more results. So this form of squatting works the best for me. Now, as you notice, I don't come all the way up. And the reason why is because I'm keeping that tension on the hamstrings and on the quadriceps and on the butt. And I find that it really helps me keep a real stable groove and my muscles really hit failure at this type of training. If I come all the way up and rest at the top, I find it not only a little bit harder on the back, but I do find that you lose a little bit of your groove and my muscle doesn't actually get pushed as deep into failure doing it that way. Now I'm showing you my entire workout here. So let me know in the comments down below what you want to see. I know I'm going to be doing a combination of instructional videos as well as my workout vlogs, so you can kind of see what I'm doing in the gym, but at the same time I'd like to give a nice mix of instructional sort of advice in whatever everybody wants to see. And like I said, I'm sharing my own experience on what has worked for me, and it's up to you to find a way to fine-tune it and tweak it to what will work for you. But the great part is once you start to realize that there are no absolute truths when it comes to your exercises where you can actually cater them to your body structure and how you move. Once you understand the biomechanics, then it's great because you can start experimenting and seeing what works instead of trying to force yourself into doing something the way that isn't right for you. So today I went up to 365 in squats and it really felt extremely light. Now I'm going to explain to you why failure during squats and deadlifts is not necessarily a good thing. Okay, so I want my muscles to go deep into failure. Yes, I've said that. But what I don't want is my lower back to ever go into failure. And the reason why is because the muscles in the lower back are responsible for protecting the spine. And if they hit failure, what will happen is the stress will transfer from the muscle to the ligaments and into the discs. So that's where the big no-no comes in, right? So you'll see a lot of guys, wrapping their knees and they're wearing belts and all this kind of stuff because what they're trying to do is make sure that their back, if it hits failure, is not in jeopardy. So I would never recommend a 1 rep maximum on squat or deadlifts. I never recommend that. And there's a reason why powerlifters work their way up to that and then they wear all the equipment. It's because they know that it's a higher risk sort of movement. So they need to have the support gear in place to make sure that everything stays in one piece, right? But I'm a bodybuilder first. And, as much as I love strength and I love size, all this kind of stuff, I'm trying to do it in a way where I stay in one piece, which is a challenge at the best of times. But yeah, this is the way it works for me. So anyway, this is what I'm doing today. I'm just doing some 365 squats, and hopefully that, I'll move my way up to 4 plates or 455 pretty soon, But this day, the weight wasn't the only challenge.
This bathroom has to be the worst smelling bathroom I've ever seen. I don't know what it is, like no ventilation or what, but it's right beside the squat rack, so every single time I train, somebody always decides to go in there and use the can, and somehow I'm fighting for air most of my set.
Well, I guess every gym has its challenge, so yeah. Anyway, so I did, I plan on performing around 6 to 7 sets of squats today, so I didn't show all the sets here, but I did around 4 or 5 with 365. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a drop set, basically with lots of rest anyway, but I'll go down to 315 and do a final set just to finish it off. But yeah, like I said, lots of things have been going on in my training lately. I've been experimenting with frequency. And then I've been doing the odd day where I do high volume. So I'll split the body into 2 different parts, and I've been doing 10 sets per body part of the exact same exercise, which can be quite challenging actually. 10 sets for an overall body part might not seem challenging, but when you train the body part every 3 days, it actually is, especially when you just do it on one exercise. So ultimately, I've been messing around with rep ranges. My rep ranges have been around 15 to 20 some days, and then 5 to 10 other days. So I've been really messing around with that too. And I have noticed that if I go heavy too many days in a row, like I knew a long time ago, but you always try to hit the barriers, hit your limits to see what is right for you. I'll do 5 to 7 reps some days, and then the other day I'll go in and do it again on the same body part, 5 to 7 reps. And sometimes I've hit a wall where all of a sudden I've lost a little bit of strength because I'm still sore from the previous workout. So I've been forced to really look at doing higher rep ranges some days too, just to increase my progress. And the biggest thing that has really helped me with my training lately is my diet. I've been increasing carbohydrates through oatmeal, dry cured cottage cheese, and I've been putting some honey on there and a little bit of almond butter. And I've been doing that a couple times a day, and then basically saturating myself with carbohydrates and protein. And because I'm not really worried about cutting, I'm not worried about cutting too much, although I have been getting a little bit leaner, as you can see in the first little clip there. So anyway, what I've been doing here with lateral raises is that I first do lateral raises, then I do this external rotation type of hybrid of the lateral raise for shoulders, because today is my leg, shoulder, and tricep day. And so what I'm doing here is just, a nice little hybrid here, because it works the rotator cuff and also helps hit, a lot of the injured parts of my shoulder from my dislocated shoulder accident from hockey. So my right shoulder doesn't necessarily go up as far as my left one does when I do lateral raises. So you'll notice that my right arm doesn't come up quite as high, and that's because of the injury from hockey. So that's about as high as she goes there. So you always got to work around your limitations, and unfortunately for some of us that play sports, sometimes we can do a number on ourselves quite well. So, but anyway, my shoulder's good. It feels good when I'm training, so here I am getting a burn here, and then what I'll do is change from the lateral raise to the hybrid again. So it really is a great way of burning the shoulder out overall everywhere, and I know that it helps also strengthen the external rotator cuff, so it's better for posture, and also will help your bench press in time as well, because you're working all those assister muscles as well. So here's just a different angle so you can get an idea of what I'm doing. And I recommend that you try this yourself, and there are different ways of doing the external rotation hybrid. I do a bent over version, which is what I call a bent over lateral. But the nice part about the hybrid external rotation lateral that I do is that it actually works a lot of the traps too, and I find it's challenging to get a trap workout for me from shrugs. Shrugs have never really been great for me, but I found that bent over rows are great, and anything that brings the shoulder girdle forward and then back really helps. And so I find a lot of the rowing movements and also external rotation movements seem to really work. See, so the shoulders round forward and then they come back, right? So I find that really works for the traps. So in the final exercise, I'm going to show you close grip bench, or at least the way I do it. When I go closer than this, I find that my elbows, they don't take a beating. Like, I mean, I can still do it, but I find that the tricep close to the elbow takes a lot of the work, and also my wrists start to get bent in weird ways, and I don't necessarily get more tricep work in the real belly. So I found that doing a medium grip seemed to work better for my triceps. And yes, I do get some chest in there, and yes, there's some shoulder in there, but I rotate the I rotate the elbows out. I don't keep them close to my sides like some people do close grip. I find when I keep my elbows close to my sides, I actually work a lot of front delt. I don't actually work my triceps anymore. And so you'll find that I just keep this constant motion here. Bang, 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 bang. Just easy. It's not like I don't lock out the joints and I don't come down too far. I find that there's a certain torque curve right in the middle there where I feel the triceps are getting the main amount of work. So I'm not taking the tension off the triceps at any one point during the set, unless I want to take a rest for a moment and then push myself farther into the set. So yeah, try this hybrid out of close grip if you can, if it works for you, and if it feels right for you, start incorporating it in your training and see how it works. But I find this really works for my triceps. And the reason why I discovered this was that I was doing a closer grip type bench press for chest, and I found that my triceps started growing from it. So I said, okay, well, I might as well incorporate this into my training. So I'll do a close grip day, but I'll, just shorten up the grip a little bit and see what happens. So this is my last set. Thanks for watching, guys, and make sure you comment down below and let me know what you want to see and if there's anything I can help you out with at all, and I'll talk to you soon.